Hey guys, Maxon here. One of the things that I've kind of been getting into recently are reviews for meals ready to eat and other military style food showcases. I had some reviews previously on my previous channel, but I decided to get rid of those. I've still got them floating around my computer, but I don't really feel like redoing them with new imagery and that sort of stuff. So I'm going to be doing some new ones. But the first thing I want to do is, today I went over to my local surplus store, American Army Navy. It's right down the road from where I live, so I consider it my local Army surplus store. And I was looking around. I try not to buy MREs there because they're pretty expensive relative to other places in town. But I found some things I simply couldn't pass up. For example, this first thing here, it's just a plastic meal tray. But previously, when I did MRE reviews, the only thing I really had to put stuff on was plates. And putting a bunch of plates on here is kind of unwieldy. So I definitely needed a little more organization in that respect. So I got this. The pricing label, like right here, was like $8. But the guy who sold it to me, he said that it had been hanging around the store for a very long time, and he decided just out of the blue to just give it to me for $5. So there's that. I just got it home. I just washed it. Just below it had a label here that had a plastic cover over it. I took it off, and there was a much older label, the remains of the sticky stuff for it. And I just spent a few minutes with an X-Acto knife to scrape all that off. So this is now nice and pristine. It's really sturdy. It doesn't have any give to it at all. So that has definitely empowered me. I've got one MRE that I'm sitting on. I forgot what it is, but I'll tell you what it is when I get around to reviewing it. Which I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to make that review right after making this video. That'll probably be published in a little while, probably a few days, and not immediately. I just wanted to get this one out here. Now, there are a couple other things I picked up. Like I said, I don't really buy MREs from American Army Navy because they're more expensive than other places in town. I have better sources, and the selection isn't that great anyway. But there was one thing I found here that I simply could not pass up. Emergency rations. I probably should take the price labels off of these. But these are the kind of things that you would find like in a life raft. I mean, this is like last resort, actual survival food. Not the stuff that claims they're for survival and are really like essentially meals ready to eat. I mean, this stuff is even more simplistic than your humanitarian daily rations. I mean, you essentially have a little packet of water and these. I know what these are. I've seen reviews of stuff like this before. These are essentially your basic coconut bars. And I'll just give you a little review. Give you a little once around here. Datrex DX2400F emergency ration. It also has that in French, ration de secours. I'm guessing that's what it is. Has an energy value. This entire packet contains 2,400 kilocalories. So that is, under normal conditions, that is a little more than a day, probably a day active. But the assumption of using this is that you are in a basic bare bones survival situation. I mean, just look at the instruction here. Instructions. Eat 1 bar every 6 hours per person, eat in small pieces. When I saw that direction, I thought of that one scene in Ghostbusters right after Peter Venkman's first interview with Dana. He comes back to the firehouse and he says he wants to draw some petty cash to take her out for dinner so he doesn't lose a customer. And Ray tells him that the paltry meal they're having, I forgot what it was off the top of my head, but it was pretty bare bones, was the last of his petty cash. So Peter responds by saying, "Slow down, chew your food." I may put that in here, I may not, but that is exactly what I thought of when I saw these instructions, and really, that's basically what this is supposed to be. This is probably the kind of stuff you would find in a life raft. I mean, this is just basic, just sitting around and pretty much praying that you're going to get rescued. And this is pretty much all you're going to have. So let me see, let me just take another look. There's got to be some sort of content. Oh yeah. Serving size 1 bar, and servings per envelope, servings per packet, portion per envelope, and that would be 12. So each of this has 12 bars. Each bar is 200 calories each. So if they're saying that they want you to eat one of these every 6 hours, what they're saying is this is supposed to get you through 3 days. 3 days, 200 calories per meal. They're expecting you to survive on 800 calories per day. So essentially, if you're eating this, pretty much the only thing you're going to be doing is sitting in your life raft. Maybe if you're lucky, fashioning a spear and trying to get some fish, but that's pretty much going to be unlikely, so this is pretty much all you're going to have. Let me just take a quick look. Manufactured by Datrex, Kinder, Louisiana. And manufacturing date, I mean, this is some pretty new stuff. Its manufacture date is August 2014, and it has a lifespan of 5 years. So this is pretty new stuff here. Let me just take a quick look and see. I mean, you've got your nutrition information here. Has to wrap around. I mean, this is some pretty basic stuff here. And then there are ingredients here. Save drinking water. Do not drink during the first 24 hours unless sick, injured, or in desert conditions. After first 24 hours, drink no more than 500 milliliters per day. I mean, like I've been repeating, this is basic, bare bones survival stuff. Drink seawater, never drink seawater, not even mixed with fresh water. So, when supply is nearly exhausted, no more than 1/10 of a liter per day. So if you are low on supplies, they really want you to milk this. But as for this is supposed to be 3 days worth of food for one person, or one and a half if you have 2 people, 1 day if you have 3. And if this one packet is all you have, you're probably milking it even further, unless you're a total pig and if you decide to go to town and eat more of this than it tells you to, then God help you. The other thing here is emergency drinking water. This is also by Datrex. This is even newer. Manufacture date is March 2015, and this also is supposed to last 5 years. Now, under good conditions, this probably lasts a lot longer than 5 years, but this is the recommendation. And it's probably what cruise lines would throw in life rafts. They probably would change this out once it reaches they probably change this out as it nears or reaches its expiration date. And they probably don't dispose of it. They probably just give it to someone or put it on the aftermarket to be released like to surplus stores. But the surplus store I got has brand new stuff. Anyway, let's take a look. Coast Guard approved. There is a Canadian approval here, probably for the Canadian Coast Guard as well. So U.S. and Canadian. It contains 1/8 of a quart, 125 milliliters, 4.227 fluid ounces. And let me see if there's... I don't see actual ingredient. Well, I don't know if they put anything in here, but it's probably just distilled tap water. It has instructions, English, French, Spanish. I believe this is Russian, and this is most likely Japanese. So 5 different languages. Drink no more water. And these are essentially the same exact things, same exact recommendation that was put here. Drink no water first 24 hours unless sick or injured or in desert conditions. Thereafter, approximately 8 fluid ounces per day minimum. So 2 each of these 4-ounce bags. This PosiSeal bag may be checked by squeezing. Replace bag if air or water escapes. Recommended life 5 years or as established by local administration. So yeah, that's pretty basic stuff. I mean, give it a squeeze. It feels like the air is there. Now, I'm not gonna go and open this, at least right now. I'm probably gonna hold on to this. I may crack it open later. I may use it for some other thing. I just don't feel like opening it now and wasting it when I'm definitely not going to eat all of this. I'm probably not going to eat what's recommended at one sitting. But that's a pretty good primer. I mean, I think this is a fairly decent find. I mean, I don't know how often you will find emergency rations like these at a surplus store, especially this new. I just wanted to get this out here and show it off. But at some later point, I'm going to do an MRE review. As I said, I'm sitting on one right now, and I'll probably post that in, I guess, the next week, and as I find time for it. And that's it. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you later.